Hello YouTube. This is round 2 of the Mind Sports tournament. I had the white pieces against FIDE Master Nachum Salman, and I was feeling pretty confident this game since I beat a world champion in the last round, so I thought this would be pretty easy, I guess, compared to that. But anyway, I open up e4, in the French defense, e6, and here I play d3, which is the King's Indian attack, and I've been playing it with the against the French defense, and I've been having quite a lot of success with it. d5, knight to d2, knight to f6, knight g to f3, knight c6, and g3, so getting ready to fianchetto the bishop there to g2, and he plays d takes e4, and d takes e4, so you release the tension early in the center, and bishop c5, well yes, knight g4 may be coming, so let's play bishop g2, and I'll meet that threat with castles. And so e5, now that bishop on c8 is more free to move around the h3 to c8 diagonal. Castle, castle, c3. So what this move does is it takes away the d4 and b4 square from the knight on the c6. a5, and I wasn't sure what to think of this move during the game, but apparently it's still book. And after I play queen c2, defending my e4 pawn once again, so that my knight on d2 may be able to move, and maybe coming to the c4 square one day. This is the last book move that's played, and here he plays the move b5. And the computer thinks that in this position bishop e6 should be definitely put into consideration, and I can see why, because it controls the c4 square in a more natural way by developing a piece. But in this position he decides to play b5 to do this, and I wasn't sure of my next move, but it actually, there isn't a different recommendation from the computer. I play the move a4, and the idea is just to get the c4 square for my knight. So he captures on a4, and I immediately play knight to c4. And saying I could play queen takes a4 right away, and bishop d7. And I thought about this, but I wasn't sure where I was going to put my queen next. Maybe like back to c2. So I thought it'd be just better to get the c4 square right away. And bishop to a6. So another variation that could have occurred is a3. And that'd continue knight takes a3. So I keep my pawn structure intact, queen to e7, and queen a4. But this didn't occur. It was bishop to a6. So I played rook to d1, attacking the queen. He plays queen to e8, and now I played a move that I thought was very logical, but probably not the best move, is bishop to e3. And yeah, I saw that after he captures my knight on c4 that there'd be a skewer on b3, but I thought I was going to be getting his rook back on f8. And it turns out that that isn't the case, but the way he hangs onto his rook is kind of awkward, and I get counterplay, as you'll see. So instead, probably just queen a4, rook to b8, bishop e3 now, bishop takes c4, yeah, bishop takes c5 and bishop c3. So again, we have the skewer, but saying that this position is about equal. Kind of similar to what happened in the game. So let's see that what happened there. Bishop takes c4, bishop takes c5, and bishop b3, and I play queen d3. So here he continues bishop takes d1, and perhaps he could have tried rook d8 first, and after which I play queen e2, rook takes d1 check, rook takes d1, bishop takes d1, queen takes d1. There's less material on the board, so black should definitely go for something like this. Queen d8, queen takes a4, rook e8. I still have the bishop pair, so I think, well, and black has a damaged pawn structure, so I think I still have counterplay here. But this would have been much better than what happened in the game for him. Bishop takes d1. Now queen takes d1, not rook takes, because then rook d8 comes, and I want to hang on to as much material as I can. And that's a general rule anyway, that when you're down material, you want to keep as much material on the board so you can have more possibility for complications. Knight to e7. Computer labels this as a questionable move. Instead, queen to b8 is much better. Bishop takes f8, king takes f8, just giving back the exchange but having pressure along the b file, and maybe getting my queenside pawns off. Okay, knight to e7. Now knight takes e5. Now I have a nice centralized knight. My pawn on e4 is currently defended, and getting plenty of activity for my pieces, and that rook on f8 isn't completely out of danger yet. I can always win back the exchange if he moves his knight on e7. Rook to d8, and here I decided queen takes a4 was the best move. Now I know I want to keep material on the board, but in this case I decided that if he takes my queen, I can just recapture with the rook and get my rook active. Alternatively, queen c2 is probably still a fine move. Threat to just take off that knight and fork on c6. And anyway, queen takes a4, rook takes a4, rook to d1 check, bishop f1 forced, rook to e8, so he gets out of the pin and defends his knight. Now king g2, I also get out of the pin and threaten to get my bishop active. Knight g6, here I definitely do not want to trade on g6. I need to keep my knight and, more importantly, material. So knight to c6, and yeah, my threat is if he captures that pawn on e4 with his knight, I'm going to play knight to e7 check with an interference theme going on, and win back the exchange. But he doesn't see this. He plays it anyway. Knight takes e4. Oops. Knight takes e4. Peter's saying rook to d2 should be examined more closely. After which b3 and h5. So, yeah, this would have been much better for black than what occurred. Knight takes e4. Here we are. Here's the position. Now knight to e7 check. If the rook takes, I'll capture with my bishop, and if knight takes, I will capture that knight on e4 with the rook. So rook does take, and the bishop takes. Knight should take, and now I play rook takes e4. We see here Knight to c3. Oh yeah, he could have tried a desperado here. I'm not sure why he didn't insert this move. So rook takes a5, h6, bishop to a3. Okay, yeah, I guess he didn't want me to have my pair of bishops on the board. So this is interesting. Anyway, bishop takes e7, knight takes e7, rook takes e4, king to f8, defending the knight. And here I was considering the move rook to d4, which would force the rooks off the board. But then I decided that I wanted to keep my pawn structure intact, so I thought I should just play rook e5, threatening the pawn. And if he does interfere with rook d5, I can at least capture and keep my pawn structure intact and get the rooks off that way. Rook to a4 is also an interesting try. Knight to c6 and bishop e5. Probably advantageous for me. But anyway, rook to d5. I capture, he recaptures, and at this point he offered me a draw, and I had to consider this for a while. I think I have better chances to win this ending. I have the better pawn structure. You know, he has 3 pawn islands and I only have 2. I have the bishop versus knight in an open position with pawns on both sides of the board, so my knight should be better. And my king can get centralized faster than his king. But still, it's not completely easy to win this, and I thought it'd be wise just to save my energy for round 3, because that's 3 rounds in a day, you know. I still have to play well the next round. So the draw offer was just too tempting, and I took it. But anyway, I have no regrets. I'm very happy with the outcome, and the energy came in handy for the last round. So that will be the next game that I show you, and till then, later.